he received the Honor Classic Lifetime Achievement Award, an inspiration to many walking the world. Lightweight, baby. Yeah, buddy. The king, the icon. Here he is, Ronnie Coleman. Ronnie, how you doing, man?
All good. Hanging in there, as usual.
Man, it's been a while, bro. We go back.
A long way.
Because I remember when you came back in the late 90s, you used to come back to Rope, who used to train me, Rope, man, and guest pose at his shows.
Every year.
So we've come, you've come a long way. I've come a long way. Bro, I got my own cognac. This is my cognac, shaped by Laportier.
Oh, cool.
And I want to toast your career. The most unbelievable professional bodybuilding career ever.
Thank you.
Salute, bro. Growing up, you're from Louisiana.
Yep, born and raised.
Born and raised in Louisiana. So growing up, obviously you probably worked on a farm or farm like labor.
Yes, sir, I sure did. Chopping that cotton.
Okay. So what did Ronnie Coleman want to be when he was a kid?
I wanted to be a professional football player.
Okay.
Yeah, and I played high school, junior high, college. Didn't make it to the pros.
Right. So you grow up. So you played all sports. You played football. You played basketball, or you just mainly played football?
I mainly played football. I didn't play basketball. I did a little track also, but football was my thing.
Right. Okay. So you went to Grambling.
Yep. GSU.
Played for the legendary Coach Eddie Robinson.
Well,
what was that experience like?
Man, it was a lot of fun. I mean, we had the greatest time of all, had the greatest coach of all time, Eddie Rob, and we lived a joyous, fun life. And it was real hectic on the road because everybody was trying to get Coach Rob, especially when he broke that record.
Correct.
But it was probably the greatest time of my life.
Right.
Greatest experience of my life, for sure. I often want to go back to those days, but you know how that is. But that was the greatest time of my life by far.
So you mentioned like growing up, you wanted to play professional football. You got a college scholarship to go GSU, but I heard you injured your neck. Was that probably the main reason why you didn't make it, or was it ability?
Well, I had a lot of injuries, but first of all, I didn't go on scholarship. I walked on, and tried out, and then made the team. But initially, I hurt my back real bad, real bad. It started probably when I was like a sophomore.
Okay.
I went to chiropractor, went to a bunch of doctors. Nobody could find out anything wrong. But the chiropractor said, I can help you get it back to normal where you be function real good, and he did, and I went to him probably about every single day for about 4 or 5 months, and then I backed off and started going like twice a week. But finally I got it back to where I could function real good and wasn't no big problem. I injured my neck one day in practice, but it wasn't nothing serious, nothing like
trying to make a tackle. Correct?
Yeah, making the tackle. It did keep me out for about 2 days of practice, but that was about it. For the most part, a lot of people think the lifting the weights is what injured my back, but it was actually playing football my sophomore year. And those injuries, they follow you throughout your life. I mean, it never went away. And when I got here in Dallas, I picked up a chiropractor once again. And it would be time that I had to go like every day for a while. And then in '96, I did injure a herniated disc, getting ready for the Honor Classic.
Correct.
Kept me out for about 2 weeks. But I went to the chiropractor. That's when I got into massage therapy also, and that helped me out a lot. But I still was able to do the Honor Classic, and that was in March. It's always in March. And I got it back to where I could squat real heavy and deadlift real heavy. In 2001, I deadlifted about 800 for a couple of reps. And in 2003, I squatted 800 for a couple of reps. So I got it pretty much back to normal. youth around that time.
Do you think about what could have been had you not had those injuries? Like, could you believe you could have squatted excess of 900 or 1,000 pounds, deadlift maybe 900 or 1,000 pounds? Have those thoughts ever gone through your mind? Like, man, if I'd have never had these injuries, I only imagine just how strong I could have been.
Yeah, every single day. I still regret not deadlifting that 800 more than 2 reps because at the time I knew I had already deadlifted it anyway, but squatting it, I was like, if I could only just get 2 reps like I did on deadlift, I'll be set.
Right.
But I got to it, and those 2 reps were a lot lighter than I thought. And I was like, man, I could have did it at least 4 more reps with that 800. It was just that light. So I'm like, I'm not going to tempt fate again. I'm getting ready for the Mr. Olympia. I don't want to blow out another disc.
Correct.
So I know what I'll do. I'll just load up the leg press and try to make up for it. So we went to the leg press. I loaded it up with 2,300 pounds.
Right.
And
well, you couldn't put any more weight on it, Ronnie.
Couldn't put no more weight on it. That's what I mean when I say we loaded it up.
Yeah. Y'all about to have every 45 that was in the gym.
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all had it on the leg press.
Pretty much. But Brian keep quite a few of those laying around. But I did do that for 9 reps and sort of made up for it. But, you know,
right.
It ain't 800 on the squat.
Right. But you also were a power. You started out as a power lifter.
Yeah, I started powerlifting in high school.
Okay.
And we would go from state to state doing powerlifting meets, and I did okay. Mm-hmm. Nothing spectacular. I did that for like 2 years, and then our powerlifting team kind of folded, so I did it like my sophomore year, my junior year. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I did pretty good. When I came out to Dallas, I entered some more, like, it wasn't a full powerlifting meet. It was something like a deadlift meet.
Okay.
And I did a lot of those in which I deadlifted probably like 750. Mm-hmm. But the highest I got. But
what weight class you were in? 220s? What weight class were you in? The 220s?
I started out in 181.
181? What?
Yeah, in high school, remember?
Yeah.
And then I went to 198.
Okay.
And I think my senior year I weighed 185.
Okay.
In high school.
Right.
I didn't get to the 200 till I got to college.
Till you got to college, okay.
Yeah, I think I went all the way up to like 225, somewhere in there, playing middle linebacker.
Right. So did you lift a lot in college? I mean, what was your weight program like in college?
We didn't have one. We didn't have one.
You didn't have one?
No, none existed. If you want to lift weight, they had a small weight room about the size of this room here.
Okay.
That you go, if you got up at like 6 in the morning, they keep it over from 6 to 7 for 1 hour.
Okay.
But it was voluntary.
Right.
But as far as mandated or required weight training, none at all.
Was weightlifting always one of your passions?
Oh yeah, yeah. My passion started with that when I was about 12 years old.
Okay.
When I was about 10, 11, everywhere I went, people always asked me if I worked out. And I'm like, no. Well, I finally got tired of saying no. I want to say yeah. You know.
Right.
So I picked up, I had my mom buy me a 110-pound weight set from Walmart. And I started working out in the backyard, you know. And
the plastic ones, huh?
The plastic ones, yeah. You remember those?
Yeah, I do.
And right around 12, you know, I kind of fell in love with it. And it just took off from there. You know, like I said, I joined the powerlifting team like in, I think it was 14 when we started that powerlifting team. Mm-hmm. So that was like a couple of years later. And that's when I really got into it.
Right.
But I got that passion from early age, you know, lifting in my backyard with my friends. We all had mostly curl stuff, you know. We just curl and do some overhead presses, but nothing serious, right. You know, just having fun. And that's where my passion came from, lifting in the backyard.
And now all of a sudden you can start to see your body starting to transform. Mm-hmm. You start to see you get muscle definition. You start to get peaks on the biceps.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden you're like, okay.
Yeah, this is looking good.
You were hooked. From that point on, you were hooked.
I was hooked from that point on, yep. And
We were talking earlier offset that you had some odd jobs. I think you said in college, once you got to college, you was delivering pizzas or something. Was that college or when you got to here?
No, yeah, that was in Dallas. But in college, I had some odd jobs too.
What'd you do in college?
Worked for the police department.
Okay. In college?
Yeah, in college. It was called a work study. That's how you pay for
yeah. Instead of the Pell Grade, you got the work study. You had to go.
Yeah. I got Pell Grant, but they didn't pay the full tuition, so I had to do work study.
Okay.
So I did the police department, and all we did was just wrote tickets, parking tickets, put them on car. We did like transfers to the bank, help citizens drop their money off. Mm-hmm. And that was about it. Then when that work study ran out, the next year I got on at the journalism department doing writing, sports writing.
Okay.
And I had a lot of fun with that. I was a pretty good writer at the time. And then when the sports editor left, they promoted me to sports editor. Mm-hmm. And that was a real hard job because we had to put the newspaper together.
Correct.
So you had to measure out everything, measure out your ads and all that. But I never really caught on. But, my instructor, she mostly helped me out with that a lot. But I did all the editing, of the stories that came in. And it was another great experience for me.
So you go to college, you graduate. I think you graduated cum laude?
Yep, instead of thank you, Lottie.
I ain't gonna lie, Ron, I was majoring in eligibility. I just need to stay eligible.
I was pretty studious when I was going to school. I studied every single night. I was in accounting, so I had to study really hard. And I wanted to be the first one in my family to get a college degree.
Okay.
So that motivated me real hard to do everything in my power to get that degree.
Okay.
And when I got it, it was the greatest feeling ever, But I kind of regret not staying in college a little while longer because, like I said, it was the greatest time of my life.
Yeah, college was great.
It was the greatest time of my life.
It absolutely is. Okay, so now you realize, this NFL thing might not work out. When did you transfer? What did you want? When you got to college, you got a degree. It's in accounting.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever put that degree to work because you came to Dallas and you became a police officer, and the rest is kind of from there.
Actually, I came to Dallas and I tried to get a job in accounting.
Okay.
I went on a lot of interviews, and most of the time they were like, well, we need somebody with experience. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, you give me a job and I get some experience.
How am I going to get it when you won't give me an opportunity?
Exactly. So I did that for almost 2 years.
Wow.
But at the same time, I had a car note that I had to pay. Mm-hmm. So I had got a car on this college program. You could buy a car and your first car note wasn't due till 3 months later.
Wow. So
I went out and bought this car, brand new, 1987 Sunbird GT. And my first payment was coming up. And I'm like, oh man, I got no money. I need to get a job. I need to get a job real bad. So I took the first thing that came along was Domino's Pizza.
So you a delivery driver?
I'm a delivery driver / system manager. So I made pizzas and delivered them, and at the end of the night, I collected all the money and counted it and took it to the bank and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But I did that for 2 long years, and when I didn't make enough money doing that, I got me a side job delivering newspapers.
Okay.
So here I am with a college degree, graduated in accounting, graduated cum laude, and I'm delivering pizzas and throwing newspapers. And I couldn't wait to get out of Domino's Pizza.
Right.
So I'm like, you know what? This thing with the accounting is not working out. So every week I got the newspaper. There was always a classified ad in there for hiring police officers. No experience needed. So I'm like, oh man, I get on the police department. I can use my mental ability as well as my physical ability.
Right.
I always got some bad crooks out there trying to start some trouble. So that's what I did. I applied for the police department. After 2 years working at Domino's, and Arlington hired me in March of 1989. March 20, 1989 was my first day. And at the time I was living in Irving, and when I graduated the academy, I moved to Arlington.
Okay.
And I've been here ever since.
Delivering pizzas, did you deliver more than you ate, or you ate more than you delivered?
I ate way more than I delivered.
If you'd have been an Uber driver, you'd have got a terrible grade.
Yeah, exactly.
Your rating would have been awful.
But I ate pizza every single day, sometimes twice a day. And
now, do you like pizza now?
No, not anymore. I finally got tired of eating pizza about a year and a half into it. So there was a Burger King next door. And I'm like, I bet they tired of eating burgers. So I called Burger King, hey, y'all tired of eating burgers? They like, yeah. I like, y'all want to trade pizza for burger? Yeah. I finally got tired of eating burgers. So there was a Kentucky Fried Chicken next door to them. So I called them with the same,
proposition.
Yep. And they was like, yep. So I'm eating fried chicken. But, it was like 2 or 3 others in there, and I was trading out tacos for chicken. I traded out everything for pizza. And it worked out, but after my last year of working with Domino's, I think the only time I ate pizza after that was when I won the Olympia. And the reason why, because I love cheese. And the first thing that came to my mind that had cheese on it was pizza. So I would eat Domino's. Well, I eat Domino's. I probably hadn't eaten Domino's since I worked there. So I called Pizza Hut.
Right.
Ate pizza right after the show, and I wanted more cheese after that. So I went to McDonald's and got a cheeseburger.
Wow. So now you moved to Arlington and you're a police officer.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Are you powerlifting still?
Nope.
You're giving up powerlifting and transition to bodybuilding?
Yep. No. I would work out maybe once or twice a week, while I was on in the academy. Well, when I graduated, and my first day on the job, one of the guys came to me. We were on a call together. He's like, man, where you work out at? You're pretty big. I'm like, I work out at the station. He's like, oh, there ain't enough weight there for you. And I'm like, you right. The size of this room, no, ain't enough weights in there. He's like, well, why don't you come to Metroflex Gym? So the next day I go to Metroflex Gym, and the owner, Brian Dobson, said, man, you're pretty big. I had 22-inch arms. So I was pretty big.
So you was always cut up, brought up like that?
Exactly. My whole life, pretty much. So everywhere I went, I was the biggest and the strongest guy in the room. And actually, even in college, high school, everywhere, So when I went to Metroflex, Brian saw it, and he's like, man, you got a pretty good physique there. You ought to take up bodybuilding. I'm like, no, dude, I can't do bodybuilding. I just got this job at the police department. And I heard those guys have to take steroids, and I definitely can't diet because I'm a Kentucky Fried Chicken, Burger King eating guy, and dieting ain't
for me.
Yeah, exactly. It's not for me. Well, that went on for about, 3-4 days. That 4th day, Brian finally said, I tell you what, I give you a free membership to the gym if you compete in this show coming up about 3-4 months. He's like, I teach you how to train as a bodybuilder. I teach you how to diet. I teach you how to pose. I'm like, dude, you should have led with that free thing. Because at the time, I was struggling paying my bills, and anything free sounded real good to me. So I'm like, yeah, I'll do it for a free membership.
Right.
So Brian taught me how to pose, diet, just train as a bodybuilder. And my first show was Mr. Texas. Mm-hmm. That show was April 7th, 1990. I went in, won first in overall.
Wow.
My second show, same thing. The next week, April 14th, 1990. I went in, won first in overall. And that continued for about a couple months, And then I qualified for the National. My first year in Nationals, I got 3rd. Mm-hmm. And wasn't, you got to get first place in order to turn pro.
Correct.
So I didn't turn pro that year. The next year, I would go back to the Nationals, and I get fourth.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. I'm going backwards. Same thing I said. Damn. But if you could pass the drug test, you could qualify for the universe team. And the universe, they take 5 guys, one from each weight class, and you go compete in the Mr. Universe in Katowice, Poland.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first 3 guys couldn't pass the drug test. Matter of fact, there were 44 guys in my class. I was the only one who showed up to take the drug test. Of course, I passed because I was drug-free back then. And I go to the universe in Katowice, Poland, and 2 o'clock in the morning, they waking me up, take a drug test. I'm like, man, well, this comes from, I already took a drug test.
Right.
Well, when we got there, they brought everybody in a room, a big room. It was a gymnasium, actually, and they made everybody strip down and get on the scale. From everybody stripping down and getting on that scale, they picked all the guys that they thought were on steroids. Of course, me being big guy out there and ripped up, they chose me. 2 o'clock in the morning, take a drug test. Of course, I passed it and won my weight class, and that qualified me to turn pro.
Wow.
Yep. And I also qualified for Mr. Olympia from winning, my class.
TD, Tutty, taking it to the house. Reservations for 6. Whatever you call a touchdown, one thing's for sure. Touchdowns matter more at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. On the ground, in the air, from the special teams or the defense, we don't care how you score them. We want to bet on touchdowns. And at DraftKings Sportsbook is the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first NFL bet? Try something as simple as betting on a player to score a touchdown. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your bet today. Ready to do your touchdown dance of your own? New DraftKings customers can bet $5 and get $250 instantly in bonus bets and get 1 month free of NFL Plus Premium. Download the DraftKings Sports app. Use code Shannon. That's code Shannon for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and get 1 month free of NFL Plus Premium. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. The one thing that I noticed about powerlifters is that they have very dense muscles. They're normally very from the back. When you look at their traps, their rhomboids, their spinal erectors, their glute, their hams, they're not legs because you got to squat and you pull a lot of weight. That deadlift, there's nothing better for the chain muscles than deadlift.
Yep, that's true.
So the work that you had in school and a little bit after college, that was going to be such a big help to you in your bodybuilding career?
At the time, I never even thought about bodybuilding because where I'm from, nobody bodybuilds.
Correct.
I didn't even know what bodybuilding was about. But when Brian told me I could win Mr. Olympia, I'm like, what's that? He's like, that's the biggest.
He saw that. Ronnie, you go into the gym. He sees that much potential in you that you can
My
be
first day.
From day one.
From day one, he told me that.
And you all natural.
All natural. So remember, I had 22-inch on.
Yeah. I remember the photo. You had the box fade, the high top, and you had the police uniform on.
Yep.
So what year did you take that photo?
That was 97.
97.
Yeah, 97.